Hey guys, what is up? It is Jimmy. Today I have a new game for you guys, and this is the LEGO MP5SD. So this gun has been requested forever. I wanted to make this forever, and I am super happy with the way this thing has ended up. It is probably one of my best MP5 platforms that I've made, probably one of the best HK platforms in general. So, yeah, we'll just start with going over it. We'll start off with the retractable stock. So it has a rubber band assisted lever, which the rubber band is not the strongest, so it doesn't automatically lock it, but it does work. It just kind of moves aside and then it lets the stock go. We have the butt plate, which is pretty comfortable. The stock in general is pretty sturdy. When it is pulled out, you can use it as a stock, but it does wobble a tiny bit, but it won't just break immediately. So you can just put that right back in there, and it won't come out. Sadly, the stock is not interchangeable. You can't just pull out a pin and then remove the stock, even though I did have some stocks that I would rather use than the retractable one, but I did want to go with the classic look of a MP5 with a retractable stock. So we'll get onto the grip, which is 3 studs wide attached with Technic. Sadly had to be stabilized with a piece of tape because the grip connection is so strong that it actually rips apart the lower receiver, so that's a design I need to improve on, but I just use tape now as a quick solution. So the grip is 3 wide, as you can tell. It also is nicely smoothed out on the front, but sadly on the back I don't have any slopes to use, but it is pretty comfortable, just standard HK grip, nothing super special. We have the working trigger, which has the arch piece instead, which is just to add a more of a curve to the HK style guns, because their triggers are a bit different than the usual triggers that I make. Here's the trigger guard, which is just made out of hinges. It's not super sturdy, but it does its job of being there. We have the fire selector, which is ambidextrous. Sadly, it doesn't move in tandem, but we have safety, semi-automatic, burst, and full automatic. So same thing on the other side, just a different switch. We have the magwell and the magazine release, which sadly is not the realistic magazine release where it actually is a AK one that moves the M4 style one. So sadly mine is just attached with a hook. It doesn't attach to the side like it should. But yeah, I have no mechanism for that, and I didn't really have any intentions of trying to make a mechanism like that. So the magazine is 3 studs wide, it is 3x4. Only thing is it doesn't have the kind of space that should go through the middle here. I didn't have the parts to do that, so I didn't end up doing it. But it is nicely curved. It does feel really good to have a nice wide magazine. We have the 9mm on top there, and it just goes into a 5 wide magwell. Really nicely, doesn't wobble whatsoever, it just goes right in, which is really nice. We have some detailing here. As you can see, this is where the magazine release should have been, but of course it doesn't work. We have the rail attachment on top here. We have the rear drum sight, which would be adjustable. Sadly, it's just a simple design for this one. I did want to do something different, but I couldn't really find any pieces that worked out well. But those are the iron sights right there. We have the shell ejection port right there, so of course it opens up. We have the big handguard for the MP5SD. Of course there's a suppressor going through the whole thing, so it would be expected to be a big handguard. Sadly, it is super heavy, especially with the suppressor. It is incredibly heavy, and I did actually, in the LED file that I have for this, I ended up making several handguards just so it could be interchangeable, but I have decided to not make them in real life. So yeah, it is a super comfortable handguard anyways. It just uses some brackets to make it a bit more round. And of course we have the charging handle. It would not be a H&K gun without the folding charging handle, and of course the HK slap. So sadly it doesn't move a bit, but it does lock up as it should, just like that. And of course you can do the standard reload like that, or you can just reload it and just pull back the charging handle. Nice and boring. So we have the front side, which is just a standard ring with a pin built with brackets. And then we have the suppressor, which is super heavy. It is really annoying to just have on here. So for the sake of just not recording, I actually have a standard muzzle to put on here instead. And it makes it a bit more handleable, and it's also to have it be a standard MP5 instead of the MP5SD. So if I end up making one of the handguards, I'll end up making a video for it, but we'll see. The suppressor is just made the same way as I made the handguard. It's just brackets, slopes, simple recipe for a handguard. Anything that's supposed to be round. So yeah, that is pretty much it. There's nothing else to cover on this. So I was thinking of doing a tutorial for this at, I think, around 3,000 likes is what I thought of. Then I'll do a step-by-step tutorial for the base MP5, and then I'll do one for each handguard, just so that you can choose what you want to have. I will not have any different stocks, just handguards and the different barrel. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys. Goodbye.